In this video, I'm going to be discussing the importance of the split step in tennis, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about positioning in doubles and a little bit of strategy and tactics discussion related with positioning. Now, on this court here, we've got Gary, Mark, Brian, and John. These four were with me out in Palm Springs, California for the most recent Essential Tennis Clinic. And this was a competitive match that they played against each other. I'm going to go ahead and play through this individual points. We're going to watch how it plays out, and then we're going to be breaking down several things that are going to help these guys improve their doubles game. So let's go ahead and watch the point first. Let's see, Gary serve and volley. John hit a lob. That ends up winning the point. Now, the first thing I'd like to say about this point, and we'll start getting ready to reset it here, is that this is a good play by John. There is no shame in playing a lob in doubles, especially if it's effective, and especially if it's effective again and again. John used this strategy many times in both singles and doubles play during the clinic in Palm Springs, and it was effective, and so I don't blame him for continuing to use it. Now let's take a look at Gary and Mark and see what things that they can do better to try to defend against this good shot by John. Now the first thing I'm going to draw your guys' attention to as we start to play through the points is Gary and his use of his footwork in his split step. After his serve, he gets in very quickly, which is great. He doesn't have the most powerful serve in the world, which gives him a lot of time to get up there, and that's awesome. Now, as the ball approaches John, and we see John start to make his swing towards the ball, Gary at this point here should be in a ready position, or at least starting to split step at this point right here. As John swings forwards and makes contact here, watch Gary's feet. He's going to continue making steps, and right here he finally catches his balance and starts to move back, and this is a reactionary move by Gary. He's only now stopping and catching his balance now that he realizes that he just got lobbed. And so this is too late. I'm going to back this up again. Gary should be split stepping right here. And he continues to take 1, 2 steps, finally catches his balance, and then starts to back up. And this is a late reaction. And ultimately, this is a big reason why they lost this point. Now, Mark plays a part in this as well, but I want you guys to realize that split step. And here, I'll play it again one more time in full motion. It happens very quickly. Gary gets in fast, reacts late, and again, he reacts to the lob. He should be making his split step before the return is hit so that he's ready for anything, whether it be a passing shot down the middle, out wide, or a lob, and he's just too late. So that's problem number 1. And Gary, you've got to work on the timing of your split step and using a split step in general. Now let's talk about Mark. Mark is the person at the net. He's Gary's partner. Now in general, I like to see people close to the net in doubles, and we see here that Mark is probably only a third of the way back from the net, between the net and the service line. And so I like this positioning in general, Mark, and you're a big guy. You cover a lot of courts. You've got a lot of reach. So this is good. This puts a lot of pressure on John. However, because we know that John likes to lob, this is not a smart place to be. And again, I saw John use this play many times in doubles play, and Mark, you've got to be aware of it. I would recommend that against a player like John, who we know likes to lob, I would recommend that you start off somewhere back around in here, someplace close to the service line. And as Gary's serve goes past you, I'd like to see you move forwards just a step or so, take a split step, no closer than about halfway up through the box, and then be in a ready position. If you were to get yourself in a ready position somewhere, somewhere around here, then in order to return John's lob, let's go ahead and play through this again and take a look at where John's lob hit. And John really hit pretty much a perfect shot. We see the ball bounce right here. It's about 3 feet or so inside the baseline, maybe 4 feet. Mark, in order for you to actually get back and be able to play this as an overhead, you would have had to have moved probably to about here or so. And we're talking about I don't know, it looks like about 8 or 10 feet or so. And so that's probably for you. If you get yourself to the side and take your right foot back as you're supposed to move back, Mark, we're probably talking about 3 shuffles or 3 crossover steps to get back to that ball. Instead, you would have had to have moved all the way from where you started off here in order to get to that, which adds, looks like about 25% more court for you to have to cover. And we know that John likes to lob. So I would really recommend that you start a little bit farther back, make 1 step forwards and split step, and be ready to move in any direction so that if John lobs, you can go back and cover it. If he doesn't lob and you take your split step somewhere around here and he ends up hitting a regular drive, you can go ahead and move forwards and try to cut it off from this split step position. And really from here, you're able to cover the whole court much easier. And so I want you guys to understand that both Gary and Mark played a part here. They both had a responsibility. Gary should have split stepped probably somewhere around here. If we back up the video here back to where Mark made contact. Let's see. Mark made contact right here. So yeah, Gary should have been in a split step right about where that line is on the right. Gary should have been in a ready position right there. And had Mark split stepped, or where I suggested over on the left, both of these players would be balanced, they'd be ready, and ready to cover that lob.